If you are shooting with a micro four thirds camera or a crop sensor camera, chances are that you are tempted to go full frame every now and then. And today I want to show you the lens that made me completely forget full frame and that taught me a lesson that just because I have a bigger sensor, I will not become a better photographer and I will not take better photos. I had to cut that video short because I have some issues with the microphone. I hope this one is working properly. But no worries, I have my fire here on the back. I can almost feel the warmth on my back. And what I will be showing you is not only the pictures that I took when I went for that walk, but also the images that I've been taking during the past couple of years. I've been using the Mitakon 0.95. There you are. And well, this is a Chinese-made, fully manual lens, and that also means that there is no connection between the camera and the lens. So at least in Fuji, you will need to set it up for shooting without a lens, and then tell the camera which focal length you're using. It's not for the camera, actually, it's only for you. So then when you are going into your Lightroom catalog, your Lightroom library, you can filter and look for those images. I didn't do it from the first day. And then I had some issues to find actually the photos that I wanted, the photos taken with this lens, because it has no data, the camera has no data. Other than, there was it's an X-T3 and it doesn't save the aperture, it doesn't save anything. But in Fuji, for instance, you can actually customize a name for that lens and call it Mitakon, so you have the data and you can filter once you are in the catalog. This is the crop format version of it. I believe there is also a version of 50mm for full-frame cameras, Sony cameras. And there is also an almost perfect one-to-one copy by 7 artisans that goes for sale, and I just checked for a little bit more than 200 euros. And that's about the half, more than the half of what I paid for this lens. So please go take it, buy it, why not? Use it, you will have fun with it. And here, I know that it's very hard to show in video, but I really truly believe that you get some feeling of the build quality of this lens. I cannot talk about the 7 artisans because I don't have it in my hands, but at least this one is fully metal build. It has some weight to it. And for some reason, I don't know why, weight feels premium, it feels better than light lenses. And this reminds me of when Bose used to put weights on their headphones only for a more premium feeling. That is true. I hope you can feel it a bit and get a sense of how good it is. Another thing that I really love of this lens is the design. It is very similar to the old Leica manual lenses. Obviously, optically speaking, they are worlds, universes apart, but the look, the design is there. I will show you again. There it is. Yeah, it's there. I love it. It looks great on the X-T3s, X-T2s, and X-T4s in black, especially, and not so much in the silver version. As in other Fuji lenses, you can control the aperture manually with one big difference. You don't have the clicks here, which has both pros and cons. The pro is that if you're shooting video with this thing and you change your aperture, you will not have those drops, those stops, strong hard cuts in your exposure. And the contrast, we say in Spanish, is that sometimes when you're using this camera, you have your camera hanging, like those belly bumpers, kind of straps. you sometimes touch the ring, and instead of be shooting, I don't know, as f1.4, sometimes you find yourself at 2.8, and then you are missing completely the point of having an f1 lens. But yeah, this is a 35 millimeters. So in a crop sensor format like the Fujifilm, it's about 50 millimeters with the bokeh look of 1.5, 1.4, 1.6 if you want to. This creates an incredibly shallow depth of field. It's so shallow, so little, that you will find yourself struggling very often to get the focus right. Remember to set up your camera properly to have those focus assist modes, so it can do the job a little easier. But it's very, very, very hard, and that's actually one of the reasons why I stopped thinking of full frame cameras. The amount of bokeh in this lens, with this lens, is stunning. I cannot imagine a situation in which I would like to isolate my subject even more than this. I can't imagine when. And yes, you could go even crazier with f1.2 lenses for full frame cameras or f1 lenses. But again, I don't see any reason to do that. What I did was I checked my favorite photos ever, not only taken by me, obviously, but by the photographers that I like the most. And the truth was that, and that was very painful to know, the truth was that bokeh didn't play a role in almost any of them. I would say 95% of the photos that I liked and loved and I would like to have on my walls, bokeh was not important at all. And that's how I actually forgot about full frame and stick to Fuji and to the cameras that I actually love using. And I don't know about you, but every time that I see now a review of a lens, of a camera, anything photography, autofocus is a big part of that review, right? I completely understand why, because when you're working professionally or not professionally, you really don't want to miss one shot. If a model is walking towards you, smiling, or with the hair moving by the wind, you don't want to miss any image. You want them all sharp. It's actually very frustrating when the really good image is out of focus, and you know that, I know that, it's very frustrating. Now, this lens is giving you a complete different user experience, right? Since you have to focus manually, it slows you down so much that you will not want to use this in a fast-paced environment if you're working with this. But the good part is that you will be probably focusing on composition and what your subject really is, and that's something that I've been seeing on people who just started photography. Sometimes you don't really know what the subject is in those compositions, those photos, those scenes. And here you have to study more each image instead of just going like a machine gun in the streets, like shooting hundreds, if not thousands of pictures per day. Here you will take far less pictures. Every time I use it, instead of coming back home with 300, 400, 600, I come back home with 80. And the truth is that the quality of those images are far better than the ones that I usually take with much faster autofocus lenses. In that sense, it can be refreshing to have this lens. If you are not motivated, if you lost motivation for photography and you don't know what to do, there's a copy that goes by 200 euros now on sale by as I said, the 7 Artisans version of this. And it could really help you get back into photography. You will have to think a lot more about those images that you're taking. And yes, you will struggle maybe to get the right focus. But when you do and you nail it, the result is really impressive. I hope that you can see in some of the images that I will be showing here. So let's talk about image quality. I would be lying to you if I said this is a optically perfect lens. For instance, flares are completely out of control. Sometimes they take way too much protagonism in your images. I kind of like that because I like to play with light in my photos and in my portraits. But the truth is that many people who like more of a cleaner, clinical look, they will actually hate it. And the truth is that this is a sign of less quality in comparison to other more professional lenses. That's the truth. Same thing applies to chromatic aberration. You will see a lot of purple and blue lines on the edges of your subjects. And yeah, it's kind of easy to fix in post, but it's a sign of lower quality. That's how it is. But let's talk about the good part. The good part is that even when you're shooting an f1, the center of the image is reasonably sharp. As I said, I would try to show you and showcase this in the images, but the centers are pretty decent. If you shoot at 1.4 or 2, they are very good. But obviously, you are completely missing the point of having an f1 lens. You want to shoot at f1. When you go to the edges, obviously, you will have very soft edges, and vignetting is very extreme, even if you can see it all the time. But I don't think that landscape photographers or product photographers will be using this lens. This is not for you guys. I'm really sorry. This is a lens that is imperfect in some ways, and it has this character that I think we can get more advantage of in portrait photography, fashion photography, maybe in those industries. I think that no one will care if the edges are a bit soft or if you have some vignetting in your images. I personally love it. I like it how it is. I would actually sometimes in my photos add some vignetting, so I really don't care that it's a bit soft. I like that soft. It makes it more tender. And yeah, overall, those imperfections that many people would criticize, for me, are actually one or two features that I love using in my photography. And with this, I'm actually kind of done with this video. I have to tell you and remind you to subscribe and leave a comment if you have any questions. I will try to answer as quick as possible and help as much as I can. This is a new channel. Starting from zero is always hard. And as you may know, this is not my mother tongue, so please calm down before you try to kill me. I know I butcher your language, but it's fine. Be kind. I will see you in the next video. I'm thinking to do, by the way, a giveaway of some present, a print or something like that. I will update you soon with those details. Ciao, ciao. Have a good one.